Here's the front of our technology rack. So we'll start up here. This is a power conditioner. So it's going to go and clean out all the dirty power, any brownouts, any blackouts that we have here in the Tampa area. Is going to provide the rest of the rack, all of our cable boxes and expensive pieces of equipment with nice clean power. Under that, we have our upgraded Araknis router. Now, this is going to help us stabilize the network where we have a bunch of traffic, because all of these pieces of equipment, as well as the TVs and the touch screens, need to talk to each other on the network. So a lot of times, just your internet service provider's router isn't going to give us that level of complexity that we need. We then have a subwoofer amplifier. Now, a subwoofer amplifier is only needed if we have an invisible subwoofer or an in-wall subwoofer like you can see here behind me. If it is just a box subwoofer, it's already got its own power supply built into it. But if it's in the wall, we obviously need to have something that powers the actual speaker itself. We then just have a standard cable box, as well as an Apple TV and a Roku back there. So those are just video sources. Those can be absolute anything you want. Roku, Apple TV, cable box, Fusion media servers, a laptop, a Nintendo, an Xbox, whatever suits our customers' need is what we can put in those places. We then find our way to the MOIP system. MOIP stands for Media over IP. And basically what that does is allows us to have transmitters for every single video source. So this is my transmitter for my cable box, Apple TV, Roku, cameras, and my Control4 screen. The reason why Control4 needs its own MOIP transmitter is so that we see the on-screen guide on any of the televisions throughout the project. So we have the transmitter, and it looks exactly like this little black box, but it's the receiver. So behind each one of the TVs we have in the project, we've got a MOIP receiver. So the transmitter talks to the receiver, and any transmitter can talk to any receiver. Meaning, I can see this cable box on any of my 4 TVs around the office, or I can see my Apple TV or my cameras or my Roku on any of the receivers. So the transmitters transmit to what the receiver can see. So each one of these transmitters is connected with that Cat6 shielded to the back of the TV, and that's what gives us our video signal. This here is our Control4 EA5, or the main brain for the project. So all of these devices are talking to one another through the Control4 main brain. We then have what we call is a Control4 I/O extender. You don't use these a lot, but when you have a project that is as substantial as this one with a bunch of different things talking back and forth, specifically IR or infrared or RS-232 or serial controlled devices, because with the EA5 we have a certain amount of IR devices as well as serial devices built into it. So if you exceed 8 IRs or 2 serial controls, we need to extend into an I/O extender. We then have another power conditioner. And then we make our way down to the Luma NVR. This is a network video recorder. So all of the cameras that we previously showed you wire back into the back of this device, and that's how they get their power and their internet connection, is through the network video recorder. That records everything, sets IP addresses up, and gives you the ability to, from your phone or from Control4, see the cameras that you have around your property. We then have a Sony receiver here. Now, Sony receivers are for surround sound speakers only. So if we have a 5.1, a 7.1, a 7.2, and on up, if you include Atmos and we get larger, anything that is a surround sound needs a receiver, because that's going to break up all of the input from the cable box or other video source and distribute it through your front speakers, your side speakers, and your rear speakers. We then, down all the way at the bottom there, that is our amplifier. So, or also known as a Control4 matrix amplifier. Now, this provides the power for your 2.0 areas. So if you have master bath, lanai, office, anything that just has 2 speakers in it and is getting stereo, goes through a matrix amplifier and does not go through a Sony AVR or audio video receiver. The receiver handles surround sound. The amplifier handles only 2.0s in the areas.